Forgiveness is, I think, two things. Either you are writing off a debt because you realized it's not recoverable, and there is no more worry to hold on to the debt. So you would just even this out, and there is no more sense of that there is anything to get in this domain. Right? So then you have forgiven the debt. And you might still have the information that you had to forgive a debt, and this might inform your predictions for the future, but the debt itself is forgiven. The other thing is, in slightly different context, that you understand what it's like to be the other, and to understand why the other could not act differently in this circumstance. This doesn't mean that there are not norms that in a different context for somebody else would have prescribed to act in a different way. But given the context in which this particular agent was acting, this was the necessary course of action. This was the way the universe was going to be. And once you understand that, there's also nothing left to forgive. And in both cases, what happens on the experiential level is that the part of your mind that assesses the debt intuitively is going to let go of that notion that there is something that needs to happen before the world is back in equilibrium, right? You create a sense of equilibrium, and the distance to this equilibrium, this injustice, is gone. Mm-hmm. And what some people try to do is, when they try to forgive, is they try to induce this emotion directly without changing the underlying representation that the feeling is indicative of, right? It's a perceptual mechanism that measures the debt. And before you have understood what is actually being measured, you might be tempted to just induce the emotion, the feelings sense by which the perceptual system would signal that there is no more debt. And then the next day you wonder why the debt is still there. And you actually haven't forgiven. You just induce that emotion. And this also happens a lot in the consciousness industry when people have existential dread or pain. And you resolve this existential pain by inducing the right sets of emotion. And it might last for a few days even, or perhaps even weeks, and then it's gone and it's reverted, and you need the next session. And it's quite productive for the one who is organizing these sessions, but it's not dealing with the underlying condition.